Hello, my cursed caddies. It's Silent Science from I Dream of Indie, and today we are taking a look at Cursed to Golf from developer Chuhai Labs and publisher Thunderful. Do you enjoy golf games but wish they came with just a little bit more death? Well, have I got a game for you, because in Cursed to Golf, our protagonist just so happens to die on his last hole of a very important game, but fear not, all hope is not lost, because if he fights through 18 holes of Golf Purgatory, he can return to the land of the living. Sounds easy, but this isn't going to be any ordinary round of mini golf. Oh no, these challenging courses will throw everything they've got at our hero, including TNT, spikes, not to mention the gods of golf and the curses that befall you as you play. From the very opening scene of Cursed to Golf, which also serves as your little built-in tutorial, you can tell two things for certain. It is very influenced by retro games, and it has a great sense of humor. In case you can't already tell, Cursed to Golf isn't like other golf games. Well, actually it kind of is in a lot of ways, but it stands out in some very important ones as well. The basics, completely the same. You have your selection of clubs. You can choose from a wedge, a driver, and an iron. You choose the power with which you would like to hit your ball and the trajectory, and off you go. But I bet your other favorite golf games don't have ace cards, do they? What are ace cards, you might be asking? Well, they're pretty exclusive to Afterlife Golf because they are insane power-ups you can use to take your golf gameplay to the next level. Take a practice shot. Turn your ball into a rocket. Anything goes with these cards. There are over 20 in all. Each hole starts off with 5 shots, which might sound like a lot, but you don't fully grasp how complex these holes can be and how quickly you are going to go through those shots. Mercifully, the courses are scattered with golf idols, silver and gold, which will allot you additional shots to help keep your golf game up to par. There are also teleports, warp pipes, movable platforms, and of course, spin. Spin is that little extra oomph you can put on your ball to turn a good shot into a great shot. After successfully completing a hole, you earn cash, which you can put towards new ace cards, which can be purchased from the Eternity shop. Love what they did with that, by the way. Here you can purchase packages of cards, which usually comes with some degree of mystery, but typically works out in your favor, or individual cards. At this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, Silent Science, this sounds great and all, but shouldn't returning to life be a little bit more challenging? And that's where the rogue elements come into this title. Did I mention there were rogue elements? If you run out of shots on a given hole, back you return to the beginning of the game, hole 1 all over again, and not just the hole 1 you played before. There are actually over 70 holes in all, so you may be playing an entirely different course due to the randomization. Returning to hole 1 also means you lose any ace cards you have in your hand, and of course any cash you may have stashed away. Sorry. You can't take it with you, as they say, which apparently also applies to the afterlife. Returning to hole 1 does mean that you can practice some of your moves on the practice green. You can also change your outfit at Eternity, which I did frequently. I should also mention that you also kind of choose your own path as you progress through the holes. After completing a hole, you return to kind of an overworld map of sorts where there are sometimes branching paths. These branching paths can be rewarding with extra cash and loot, but can also lead to cursed holes, so you'll have to be careful which route you take. I have to admit to you, typically I am not a fan of golf games, but Cursed to Golf is different. I actually found this gameplay loop incredibly addicting, so much so that I was actually supposed to record this review several days ago, but had to play more of the game and face off against the golf gods just a little bit more. I also don't typically love rogue elements in games, which I know there's a lot of games out there with those types of elements, but in this particular case, I didn't mind so much either due to the randomization of the different holes that you'll get. So no two playthroughs ever quite feel the same, and it keeps things feeling fresh. You do eventually earn yourself a checkpoint, which can be used once per round, which also helps to alleviate some of that frustration. So what I'm trying to say is, even me, a non-golf game, non-roguelite person, found some joy in Cursed to Golf. In fact, so much joy that I wanted to continue playing, which I feel like is saying something. Effective gameplay and an addicting loop will always win you over in the end, and for me this one was a hole-in-one. Not to mention the fact that it is absolutely oozing in charm. Look at those cute little pixels on screen right now. Just look at them! I was absolutely won over from the very first scene. The way they make it look like an old school television with the edges and kind of the curvature of the screen. It's fantastic. I've seen a lot of games try to do this kind of filter, and few have been this successful. The course itself also just looks great. There are so many interactive elements and nooks and crannies. It really channels for me that Super Mario aesthetic, which I am absolutely here for. Also, you can change his dead little ghosty golfer outfit. Need I say more? Okay, well, twist my arm. I will say more because we have to talk about the music, which is equally phenomenal. Yes, that's right. It is an earworm that is going to get stuck in your head. There aren't necessarily a ton of tracks, but the ones that are here are so addicting, so fun to listen to. I was jamming along to them. Even as the groundskeeper looked down on me and mocked my lack of progress, I persevered because these songs were pushing me through. They're so fun and bright and chippy. They have great beats to them and great synth effects. Bravo. No voice acting, which really isn't a problem here. They do substitute in some sound effects, such as the laughter of the Scotsman, but overall, very effective use of sound design, and I enjoyed every minute of this game, which is why, to my own surprise, honestly, I am granting this title the Golden Genie Lamp of approval. Yes, it is a golf game, but it's not just a golf game. It's also somewhat of a puzzle game and somewhat of a roguelite. It's just a lot of different things that I haven't quite seen in one place before, and certainly not this well implemented. It's fun, it's addicting, it's clever, it's funny. It's all around a good time for any fans of the golf game genre and beyond.
We thank you so much for supporting clickbait-free content here at I Dream of Indie. We couldn't possibly make it without you and these brave indie warriors and legends. At the Indie Warriors tier, we have Bill, Adriana Amato, CJR, Julian Colbus, Ray Lynn, Marky Mint, Dave Harp, Peekaboo, Lex Noyle, Christian Cruz, PSC, Solarus C, Chic Geek, Ancha277, and Acrophobe. Indie legends include Nathan Moore, Skeptism, Jen Rose, Chris Jackson, Mr. W, Blue Francis 14, The Beefarinis, Business Cody, Chiron, Jace Glover, King of the Hatch, Ophidian Mind, Lord Metroid, Seacoil, and Larkison. Thank you so much for everything that you do for independent developers, publishers, and for I Dream of Indie. Everybody else, head down to the description box below. Let's defeat the gaming echo chamber and bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.